right. Welcome to Settle on the Field. LIZ, how you doing?
Hey, I'm having a good day. How's everybody doing here? Bill, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Liz. Thanks for asking. Who we have here is Adam A.C. Schwellness. An '05 graduate from Judson University, 2015 Michiana 40, under 40, the 2015 Hall of Fame class for Judson Baseball, 2022 named a partner over at Krugel Lawton. He's representing South Bend, an old LaSalle Lion, and proud to say my cousin. Welcome to the show, AC. What's happening?
And glad to be here. Didn't know you had all that planned. So you got the facts straight though. Good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, at least I got it right. Come on.
You got it right.
Thanks for joining us, Adam. This
Good to
is
be here, Jeb.
your time to shine, man. This is something your kids will get to look back on and you get to brag a little bit about yourself. So I know that's
I
hard
hope
to do
so.
for people, but we're expecting it from you tonight.
We'll see. Ava's already told me this is embarrassing, so I don't think she'll be listening.
Imagine how it feels to be our kids. We're putting them on blast at all times. But we're happy to have you.
So someone here is a Judson University graduate of the NAIA. So we're going to talk a little bit NAIA sports. First, the NAIA, National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, 250 schools, 21 conferences. They celebrate 28 championships. Right now, there's 83,000 student athletes. The NAIA is different than Division III because they do offer athletic scholarships. So there's $1.3 billion in scholarships to NAIA schools.
That's not chump change. Not chump change.
So it's a pretty cool deal. The NAIA is very competitive because of the scholarship offering. So, you picking between D3 and NAIA and you're getting a full ride or partial ride to NAIA, it's a big deal. There's the basketball championships. We're getting down to the end of basketball. So the men play in Kansas City at Municipal Auditorium, and the women's Final Four is in Sioux City, Iowa at the Tyson's Event Center. Both tournaments 64 teams deep. So,
wow,
you're talking some serious competition when you get into 64 teams.
That's pretty good. I got the list of the top 10 preseason baseball here. Let's see if any of these schools sound familiar to you. Right now at number 1 is Southeastern out of Florida. Their record last year was 58-6. We've got Georgia Gwinnett, followed by Lewis Clark State, which, do you know where that is?
Idaho.
Out in Idaho. He knows where they're at.
Always. Lewis Clark hosts the NAIA World Series. Always a top contender every year. One of the best NAIA programs in baseball history.
Solid program out there. And the reason why I pointed out Idaho, other than that, is that we talked D3, and there's a lot of states out there, 14 of them to be exact, that don't have schools. But let's see, number 4, William Carey out of Mississippi, LSU Shreveport out of Louisiana, Tennessee Wesleyan at number 6, Bellevue out of Nebraska is number 7, Cumberland's Kentucky number 8, and number 9, Taylor from Indiana. Rounding out the top 10 is Missouri Baptist. This is all preseason. They do update this again March 16th, I believe. This is from November preseason rankings.
So we got Taylor in there. I think Indiana Wesleyan baseball's up there in the top 20, aren't they?
Yep, sorry about that. Top 20, you go down a little bit further. Indiana Wesleyan is at number 14. Adam, I did notice that Judson got a new coach. You know anything about the new coach?
They've had some turnover the past few years. And the coach before this one was only there 18 months. And I don't have any inside details, but this just happened. Obviously, you can speculate because there's not a lot of coaches changes that normally occur in February when the college baseball season starts in February. So I got no
Yeah, the
inside
beginning.
details, but yeah, but
Now, Adam, do
something
you
happened
go
there.
back to the games ever in Judson? When's the last time you went to a game?
It's been a few years. I still try to follow them when I can. They come to the area. Actually, IUSB, Indiana University
Yep.
South Bend, is in the same conference as Judson. So they will come here occasionally. I've seen them play here.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, they're in the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference, which is mainly schools around the Chicago area. But like I said, IUSB and IU Northwest, I believe, are in the conference. So Purdue
Holy
North
Cross,
Central as
but not
well.
for
Yep,
baseball. They don't have
yep,
baseball anymore.
yep. So I mean, Judson gets over this way. I still follow them when I can. Still try to stay connected. This is probably their fourth or fifth coach since I've been there. Obviously, it's been 20. Wow, that's crazy to say, but yeah, it has been close to 20 years
19
since
years
I've been
here.
there. Yeah.
That's
But yeah,
wild.
I still try to stay at least connected, follow them, and obviously like to see them do well.
Oh, that's great.
So
Yeah,
I,
so that go ahead, Jeb.
I got you down the 2015 Hall of Fame inductee. Is that the correct year?
That's the correct year. So back in the day, I used to do a little thing at Judson and could swing the stick, and uh, you know, for we made it to the Christian College World Series, which is a whole nother separate subsection, the NCCAA, the National Christian College Association. So I was part of the first team from Judson that went to the Christian College World Series. Um, kind of put Judson on the map a little bit. Did some things back in the day.
Hey, I got written down here that you're still in the top 10 in hits, RBIs, home runs, walks, and at bats. And at the
At
time
one
you
point,
left,
the home run leader.
whoa.
Yep, all still true. So yeah, I mean and I will tell you, since I've been there, they've won a lot more games. They've had a lot bigger players. Yeah, the recruiting has expanded, and you're right though. I'm still, again, I'm still top 10 in those categories, so it's kind of cool.
Well, they say
That's-
that you paved the way for Judson's new recruiting class. They were like, AC Schwellness went to Judson, and I'm going to go there
That's
too.
That's what they said, huh? Yeah,
That
no,
is what they
like I
said.
said, it was cool because I got the opportunity to start as a freshman. So I mean, not a lot of kids can say that in college. My freshman year, I caught 45 of like 50 games as the starter. So not a lot of kids get that opportunity. So I'm grateful for that, and it was awesome.
That's awesome. So, and this is a weird, I don't want to say it's a weird question, but how much do you miss it? It's been 20 years. Do you wish you could go back? Or are you like, I'm
No,
cool. I don't
no,
want
I'm actually kind of cool. I mean, at some point in time, you got to give up the dream. Like it was fun while it lasted, but I mean, even NAIA baseball, it's year round. It's a grind, and the alternative, or probably could have played in some independent leagues afterwards. It only the top like 1% of the 1% ever make it to the majors. At some point you kind of got to just know it's your time to move on, and work hard in the classroom always too, and make a good career.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's an NCAA commercial where it says not everyone goes pro, and then they show different student athletes going pro, like into whatever they were studying. I think that's pretty impressive there. But you did have a tryout, didn't you? Did you not? With the big
Yeah,
leagues.
I had an invite tryout with the Phillies. Before my senior year, they held a little get together, regional get together. I was on their list to watch. Thought maybe after my senior year, back in those days, there were a lot more rounds in the draft. There was a chance, but didn't happen, and when it didn't happen, I moved on.
Oh, that's awesome. I just like to point out to, people who talk or are trying to go to play in college, like if you go to one of these smaller divisions, you're most likely going to get more playing time than if you went to a higher division. And people are getting drafted out of NAIA into the big leagues. They're getting drafted
Yeah.
out of D2, D3. So they're going to find the talent.
And NAIA for baseball is legit. I didn't know if you had any set questions or any other background or research, but maybe little known fact here: Ben Zobrist, former member of the Cubs, World Series champion, was in our conference. Played against him twice a year. Also, a couple of Bethel here from South Bend had a pitcher that was drafted. Name is Eric Stoltz. NAIA baseball, like it's top notch. I mean, I'm not saying it's Division I NCAA. It's not, you're not going to Omaha for the World Series, but for whatever reason, guys that slip through the cracks and don't get the top recruiting, for some reason they're falling to NAIA, and it's high level baseball.
Yeah, that Lewiston, Idaho, you can't beat that.
No, those guys. I mean, that whole team is stacked. I mean, those guys are getting drafted every year.
So the NCCAA World Series, where was that at?
Somewhere in Ohio. Maybe Lima, Ohio.
Lima, huh? All right.
Yeah, nothing too immaculate there, but again, it was a great experience to play some top competition.
Nice.
Now are you coaching travel? Are you in travel with your kids or not quite? What's going on there?
Oh God. So here we go. Now we come full circle. So yeah, still love baseball. The time is just so different from when I played, when everything was Little League to All Stars to Legion Ball in the summer in high school. I mean, now it's just, I do hate to say it, but if you're not doing travel, you're not going to get competition. So yeah, I am coaching an 8U baseball team.
When did they start? You're up at Chet Wagner. When did they start travel?
So Zeke still plays in Chet Wagner Little League. Our team is, I mean, they say they're unaffiliated with Chet Wagner, but Chet Wagner, these kids, most of them are from Chet Wagner just to try and keep the Little League going as well. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we have 8U there's a team younger than us. They have a 7U team. We don't travel far. We have, let's say, I think 7 tournaments scheduled throughout the year. Most of the time we stay within 45 minutes of our home. It's just to get them a little better competition. It's just the kids that want to be out there, want to play a little harder, want to see a little better experience, and we're helping them get that.
I love the aspect of keeping them in the park to keep the park going, because you need a place to play too, and to practice. And so I like how the River Bandits have kind of done that with Chet Wagner. I know Eastside's kind of done it a little bit too. But Chet Wagner hosts one of the greatest. They host one of the greatest youth baseball tournaments known to man. It's the Scott Severance Memorial Tournament for 9 under teams, and it's just fantastic. Officer Severance was killed in the line of duty in South Bend, and I had the privilege of coaching one of my son's teams in that. And we went to the championship, and Scott's mom was there. And every kid and coach, which I'm proud to say, and I don't have it right in front of me, I should send my kid to get it, was a Scott Severance baseball card made by his mom. So every kid in the championship game got one of those baseball cards. Is really cool, man. So this year is 8U. 8U, you guys probably will play in that. Because I know a lot of
the River Bandits. River Bandits always have a team in there, so I'll be out there this year.
No, when that comes around, I'll reach out. I think the guy's name was Neil last time I was involved, but I'll come umpire some games for that, because I know it's a volunteer thing for the umpires, and it was really cool to play in, and it was fun to watch.
That type. I was just gonna say the 9U Plymouth team will be up there in August for a tournament.
That's the tournament.
Early August.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's the one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
We're gonna have to reunite.
That might be our moment to reunite.
Well, hey, so we got Adam with us. You guys, we're going to move on to the rule of the day. And since Adam's with us, talking baseball, and he was a catcher, so we're actually going to talk about the rule of
Gotta have a rule book.
I got a rule book somewhere. I'm cheating on the computer. So we're talking rule 608C, catcher's interference. Adam, you ever stick your glove out there and get hit by the bat?
I'm sure it's happened once in my life, but you try not to.
It's been a while.
So basically, a batter becomes a runner and is entitled to first base without liability to put out, provided he advances and touches first base when the catcher or any fielder interferes with him. If the play follows the interference, the manager of the offense may advise the plate umpire that he elects to decline the interference penalty and accept the play. So, for example, the batter's up to bat, and he swings and makes contact with the catcher's glove, okay, on the swing. So that would be interference by the catcher. It's a delayed dead ball, though. So the umpire lets the play continue.
Yeah, what if somebody's stealing?
Good, very good question. So if you swing and hit the catcher's glove and just pitch, it's a dead ball at that point, and you would be awarded first base, right? But it's a delayed dead ball in the aspect that if someone is stealing, so if say you have a runner on second base and he steals third and the batter swings and hits the catcher's glove, so just a runner on second base, right? Not first and second. Hits the catcher's glove. So we're going to have a delayed dead ball. Then he missed the pitch, but the runner stole from second to third. So now the offense has a choice. If no one's on base, the offense would just take the batter and put him on first base for it's not a hit, it's catcher's interference, he'd be on first. But in this instance, with the runner stealing from second to third, the offense may elect to decline the catcher's interference and accept the stolen base of third. And then the batter would just stay at the plate. All right. So
is there a ball or strike involved in that pitch?
Yep. Then it comes down to what the call of the pitch was. So if he swung, it would be a strike. He was swinging, so it'd be a strike more than likely. So the big thing is it's a delayed dead ball, but the offense, since they were interfered, they get to elect the option for them. All right. So it comes into play. Say the guy's up to bat and he hits a 2-run double. Obviously, the offense is going to say, hey, we're going to decline the catcher's interference and take the 2-run double. The really interesting one is with a runner stealing home. So if you're stealing home, that's when the catcher is going to be coming out of his stance to grab the ball. The batter swings and hits the catcher's glove, right? Since the runner was stealing on the pitch, and it's a delayed dead ball now, the batter doesn't hit the ball, or say the batter hits a ground ball to the pitcher and gets out at first base. But there was a runner stealing home that scored on the steal. So at that point, the offense is going to get to make their decision, and they're going to most likely take the advantage of the runner scoring and taking the out at first base. So, Adam, I mean, I know there's other catcher interference situations and the batter interfering with the catcher throwing down to second base and the umpire interfering with the catcher's throw to second base. But as far as being a hitter or a catcher, you never had that experience? You ever hit someone's glove when hitting?
I mean, probably the easiest, most simple one is, like you said, just on a swing, whether a runner's on or not. I mean, maybe you're reaching for a ball and it's a late swing or something. They'll nip your glove. And umpires they'll catch it. It's pretty easy to hear a second nip or the bat hitting the mitt. So they'll call it. But the elaborate situations of stealing home and having to, have to make a choice, or catcher's interference with, and then still getting a double again, it's probably very rare. Never had it happen.
Oh, now you'll be
So-
ready when it happens in the tournament as a coach.
I will be. I know the rule now.
Well, so there's one more interesting thing about it is you have catcher's interference. The batter runner, okay, the batter becomes the runner, advances and touches first base safely. And all runners that are forced advance and touch their base safely. So say there's a man on first, guy hits one to the fence, we have catcher's interference. The guy touches first, runner from first goes all the way and tries to score at home, and the throw comes all the way from the outfield and is out at the plate, right? So now the offense is going to say, well, hey, I want to take catcher's interference, right?
First and second?
No, because both runners reached their base safely. So they're guaranteed one base. So the batter runner made it to first. The runner on first was forced to second. Now catcher's interference is washed away because each runner and batter was advanced their allotted base. So after that, it's their choice to keep advancing. So if he's thrown out at the plate, you lose the option to take the better choice of plays. So that's also something.
That's
Gotta
awesome.
be an expert if you're going to be the coach. We talked about this with Bill Belichick. He's an expert of the rules. That's why he gets away with some sort of questionable things during the game, right? He's an expert with the rules.
For sure.
For sure. All right, let's kick it on over to Liz for Beyond the Bench and that recruiting tip. Thank you, Jebber, for the rule of the day.
Now it's time for Beyond the Bench, a practical playbook for getting recruited. Each week, I'm going to help you reach your recruiting goals by bringing you some basic recruiting tips. So let's move on to the recruiting tip of the week.
You bet.
Before I give my tip, which I'm really going to give a little background about NAIA recruiting, I want to ask Adam, do you remember your recruiting process, or how did it work back in your day?
Oh, it's a good question. So I was a late signee because so I've listened to your guys' other episodes about D3, a couple D3 schools, went on some trips, really was undecided for the longest time. Possibly, I'm thinking you guys don't even know this. I originally was registered at Ball State University accounting program, was ready to just give up baseball until July after my senior year.
Dropping bombs again. I don't think I knew that.
Another Ball State representative was off the hook. Man.
Right. So then had to, again, for whatever reason, I don't know why the formal offer or the actual offer came late, but I didn't sign until summer. I was not any type of early signing. I finished my senior year of baseball and had made it all the way through July, and signed. So, I mean, the coach, he was actually a Penn graduate and would come back to the area and recruit. So, I mean, he was familiar with the area. I don't really recall why it took so long to get to the end of that tape of, getting the final signature. But I was actually, after I graduated, and at one point in time, like I said, I was already registered at Ball State and ready to try and walk on there. I had gone to some camps and talked to the coaches there. Who knows if that would have happened, but that was my originally intended path, and then it changed.
That is a great story that I did not know. And you bring up some good points that I'm going to talk about. So NAIA is actually we've talked a little bit about scholarships and how they work. NAIA is kind of a little bit more similar to the way D2 works. They have a set number of scholarships that they can give, and they can divvy them up a little bit if they need to, but it's more similar because they can give sports scholarships, whereas D3 cannot, D2 can. In NAIA, there are 12 baseball scholarships per team. So, Adam, how many kids are on a baseball team? I'm not really sure of that answer. Approximately.
Yeah, I mean, if you're fully stacked, which, I mean, again, the top level teams, it's going to be similar to a major league team where you're going to have 25 players at least. I mean, at that level, you're going to have people that are, you're going to have pitchers that are just pitch. You're going to have specialty players. You're going to have backups at basically every position. So, you're going to have at least 25 players on the team.
Great. So not everybody's going to have a scholarship, or they're certainly not all going to have full ride scholarships. So, Adam said he was a late signee. So I want to bring up that February 7th was actually National Signing Day, the sort of not early signing day, the sort of standard signing day, if you will. And if you are a senior and you have not signed yet, this is not a reason to worry. This is the time to get working. So my tip for you today is NAIA starts recruiting really hard after National Signing Day, because they know that this is when some of those kids who didn't get signed immediately, they're still looking and they can get really good talent. And this is when NAIA and D3 is really starting to, they're amping up their recruiting process. Another big difference between NAIA and NCAA is they don't have restrictions on when they can contact you. So the NCAA has a recruiting calendar. It's very complicated and it's different for every sport. But the NAIA is actually a lot more simple, and they can reach out to you anytime, and you can reach out to them anytime. They don't have any restrictions as to how many visits you can make. That is another thing the NCAA puts a limit on. So there are a lot of perks, and now is the time to really start reaching out to those NAIA schools, because this is when they start to ramp it up. So my tip for you today, if you're an unsigned senior, start to reach out to those college coaches, those NAIA coaches, because they're looking for you and they see you.
And Adam didn't sign until July, so he probably played a little bit of fall baseball. But then come around springtime, my man was starting 40, 45 games at catcher as a freshman. And he's probably one of the, last couple guys signed to the roster. So it's never too late to, change your mind, chase your dream, and just play a little bit more ball, whatever sport it may be. So that's
Absolutely.
really cool.
And this is true of just about any sport. Now's the time where they're really starting to ramp up, because they can kind of come in and scoop up those kids that didn't go D1. Maybe they were undecided. Like, they're really still debating between a couple schools. So they see you and they're coming to look for you. So.
All right, so I'm going to start off with that's awesome, Adam. I'm glad you were thinking about walking on to Ball State baseball, go-karts. They would have been lucky to have you. You would have improved the program there drastically. But so in the last episode, I did not pass out or talk about a walk-on warrior workout of the week. And there was a reason why. There was no workout last week. We talked about consistency and doing something, right? We talked about going for that 1 mile run. So I guess the question to those who have been following along is, what did you do? Did you do nothing? Did you reside back on the couch? Did you pick one of the old challenges? I know we got two.
I made it off the couch only twice.
All right, well, I'm going to tell you. So you made it off the couch twice. Liz, you get anything in?
Well, we were supposed to go out during some terrible weather, and
that's right.
I got to tell you,
it was nice.
It was nice. It got nice. Like, it was raining the next day, and I did not make it out, but it was still warm. And then it got nice. So I have been out, actually I'm taking Ian every couple nights to weights training at the high school, walking the track while he's there. I'm practicing my broad jump. Not yet, but I haven't had bad weather.
All right, so nice. this is for Adam. I mean, as a former NAIA baseball player, Hall of Famer, and current coach, I know you've run a couple long distance races. What is your go-to exercise these days? And then I'll tie it back into the walk-on warriors.
Oh, these days, man, you hit me with a good question. So we got a Peloton, low impact on the joints. But because I caught a lot these joints, these knees. And then you're right. I used to run a ton. Done a couple half marathons, not my thing anymore. So now I'll try and, hit the Peloton when I can, or just take those dogs out for a walk. I feel old now, and just get something outside and just get a walk in.
All right, that's perfect. That's a perfect transition because that's my main go-to right now. I go to the walk. All right. And the point is, whether you took a week off or not, as one of these upcoming walk-ons, you've got to know your body. Okay. So if you overdo it one day or 1 week, it's okay to have a little rest. You got to know your body. You got to know once you get into the school, you got to know where that training room is. You got to figure out the difference for yourself as to what pain is, what being hurt is, and what having an injury is. Okay, if you've got an injury, you're going to have to go see the trainer and get some treatment so you can get back in the game.
This is a very good point. This is something I'm trying to instill in Isaiah, who he had an injury at the end of his season last year. And I said, if you would have maybe spoke up a little sooner, maybe sat out a little faster, maybe it would have just been something that you could have nursed a little sooner and it didn't become aggravated. It became a full-on injury. And that's something you have to know.
So hopefully you know your body pretty well by now, but like if you don't, I mean, this is just something very simple. It's about to be spring and summer leading into, either summer sports or fall sports. If you're going to be running, if you're going for those mile-long runs just to stay in shape or something, get your new shoes now. Get your cleats now and break them in. There's no reason to be show up with cleats and you don't know how many pairs of socks you like to have on under them. You're breaking out blisters and now you're missing time or you're struggling for that. Use the time wisely. And that goes for any setup, whether you're a walk-on or you're a man or woman on the couch trying to get off, trying to get active. Use your time wisely. So that's like, I guess, the tip of the day. It's not necessarily a workout, but that's what I have for you this week.
Well, maybe it's get out there in your brand new shoes and work them in.
There you go.
Stay busy
and stay moving.
All right, so I got the trivia question of the week for NAIA. 3 universities that are not in the continental United States of America. So I'll take any sort of guess, whether you want to name the country, the territory, or
the U.S. Virgin Islands.
You got it. So I got my St. Thomas U.S. Virgin Islands hat on. They are one. We already kind of talked about that, so I'll give that to you, Liz. Anybody else got a guess?
Got one in Hawaii?
No Hawaii.
Manoa?
No Alaska.
Puerto Rico.
So we're talking British Columbia, Canada.
Oh, wow.
University of British Columbia in Vancouver and the University of Victoria, both in the NAIA.
Wow.
Interesting. You ever get to travel down to St. Thomas?
Yeah.
AC?
No, we never went to St. Thomas. We did travel. I mean, we'd take a spring trip every year, and we'd always go down to Florida in late February, early March. Everybody's there. I mean, you can watch baseball for days in Florida in February, March time. College baseball is it's going on thick. It'll be getting there real soon here.
Oh yeah.
Spring training, the best time of year.
You gotta love early season baseball, man. Everybody's fresh and no one's hurt. It's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, we've been talking Olympics, right? We're 168 days from the Paris Olympics. We've been talking new Olympic sports, and we've mentioned this one before, breakdancing, right? But Liz, if you can look in the episode folder there and share the screen of the video, we're going to learn the scoring breakdown for how they're going to do breaking. But before that, my man, Boy Victor, qualified. B-Boy Victor from the United States of America has qualified for the Olympics in breaking.
B-Boy?
B-Boy? I like it.
B-Boy Victor.
Okay.
So there's a whole group of them that are all B-Boy something, B-Girl something.
So B-Boy Victor.
And
so
we're about
I'd
to
be
learn
B-Girl Liz.
the scoring system is what you're telling me.
Yep, so there's a 1 minute video they posted. Here's the scoring system. So if Liz can hit play on that, it's kind of a good
Here's what you
video.
need to know about scoring. In breaking, there's 3 tiers: mind, body, and soul. But ultimately, it's judged on a comparative level.
Mind is artistic, body is the physical, and then soul is how you interpret. And then each of these are actually all weighted at about 33.3%, so 1/3 of the score. It's a pretty comprehensive system, and it's actually been in place for a couple of years now. In the Olympic format, you're going to have 1 versus 1. So depending on your rank, that'll dictate who goes first.
So one dancer can go and another dancer can go, and then it actually gets judged. Whoever can meet these 3 criteria the best will be the winner of that round.
While there is a scoring system, because this is comparative, it's not like gymnastics where you get like, a number score that you can kind of flash on a screen. It's actually kind of like a percentage of like how much better you do than your opponent in the different elements. There's not really like a particular like high score or best score that you can get.
Wow. So they're judging our soul. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's Victor Montevallo.
Where's he from? Do you know? You say anything about that?
I believe they said Cleveland. No. Sorry. Victor is from Kissimmee, Florida.
Oh, another Florida guy.
Florida
Yep.
guy. I could see that. So that would be a very hard, I think, to judge. I mean, I'm just really interested to see it. So I'm excited for B-Boy Victor. Glad he made it.
Yeah,
Can't wait for Olympic breaking.
Adam, I've heard that Adam's quite the dancer. In fact, maybe we should flash a little video of Adam dancing.
I mean, if you got a video of me dancing,
I don't know
then,
that we have that ready.
I mean, it's on the internet though. You
I'm
could
having
find it.
technical
It's on the
difficulties
internet.
bringing that up.
There
Sorry,
might be a
cuz.
hashtag Adam dances coming.
Yeah, it's out
coming
there.
our way.
That'll be the next guest episode. We can talk about all of our dance moves.
Well, so we want to have the amateurs show off their Olympic ability. So we might have to have you give us a little break dance video. And
Man,
Yep,
I don't
Adam,
know if I
we're
can
gonna
break
have
dance, though.
the regular Olympian, and we're calling on you.
Well, what are you
calling on
looking
you
forward
early.
to? What are you looking forward to see in the Olympics? Do you care about Summer Olympics, Winter Olympics? What might be that one thing you're looking forward to?
I'm a bigger fan of the Winter Olympics. I love the outdoor, the skiing, the snowboarding. I mean, to me that's pretty thrilling and exciting. I mean, summer's cool, but winter's always gets me a little more excited.
I mean, I can agree with that as a whole. I definitely like that better. I'll say the 100-meter. I always like to know who the fastest person is.
I'm looking
And then
forward
it's
to
over
the
in 9
synchronized
seconds.
swimming.
There you go.
And it's over in under 9 seconds. Maybe under 8. I don't know anymore. So we do ask all of our guests one question.
Oh boy.
And my question for you, Adam, is what is your favorite sporting event that you have ever been to?
Oh, ooh, wow. You kind of caught me off guard there. So being a baseball guy, I love going to see live baseball. The city of Pittsburgh, I don't know if you guys have ever been there. Great live, so that was fun just to like, hey, let's go to trying to hit all the stadiums. Pittsburgh is fantastic. Would always recommend
Pirates
getting
game?
Pittsburgh for a game. Yep. But
I do love Pittsburgh, I gotta say. I love when you come over the hill and you see the bridges converge and it just looks really cool and you can see the whole city. It's awesome. I love Pittsburgh.
But I'm an Indiana guy, and maybe this will surprise you. I don't know if you
I
couldn't
know
go
where he's
sporting
going.
events. Greatest spectacle in racing, Indy 500.
Well, Indy 5.
Oh, nice.
Is there a year you remember that was like the best one?
I know which one I'm thinking of.
Well, the 100th running.
There you go. The
Yeah,
100th
you
running. Memorial
can't
Day.
beat it. Yep. every
Okay,
year.
nice
Memorial Day
plug.
weekend,
Okay.
I should say. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to
in
the track.
Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
The 100th running. Who won the 100th running? Do you remember?
Bill, I don't know. I don't have that type of memory. I was there, but I don't remember it.
Helio
I remember who won.
Castronova.
Helio Castroneves, I would
Yeah.
guess, because
Just
he's won it
pulling
many
his name
times.
out. He's a good guess. Got the odds
Bobby
in your favor.
Rahal.
Hold on, I'm gonna look
Nah,
it.
not Bobby.
AJ Foyt.
I don't know. It wasn't
tell
one
you.
of the. It wasn't one of the racers that I had. None of the drivers. None of the teams.
Hold on. It was Alexander Rossi.
Oh, there you go.
And
Nobody
did
has
you
heard of
know
him.
that inside the Indy 500 museum, they tell you the kind of milk that each winner drinks? You know, they all can choose. Some people actually choose whole milk. I'm in shock. Some people choose chocolate milk. So when they get out there and they're like chugging the milk when they win, it's not always 1% or 2% they get to pick. And there are people choosing whole milk. I think you're crazy.
I mean, I think that might be a good way to sum this up. I'm going with 2%, and it better be pretty cold.
It better
after
be
a race.
so
2%.
ice cold. 2% ice cold.
All
Thank
right.
you for
Well,
joining us, Adam. And it was very educational, and we loved having you. We hope you'll come back.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, no, it was great, guys. Appreciate the time to put a little spotlight on the NAIA and NAIA baseball and just talking sports. Love it.
All right, we'll have
For listening to Settled on the Field. Be sure to email us your questions and suggestions to settledonthefield@gmail.com. Follow us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Settled on the Field was produced by Spencer McNally. See you next time.